Welcome back, you beautiful souls. Feeling pumped after the weekend, and we'll call Friday part of the weekend because it started early with a beautiful Springbok game and a victory at that. Of course, things heating up at the Rugby World Cup now. All teams fighting for a coveted spot in the quarterfinals. Things getting quite interesting as well over the weekend. The Springboks claiming a pretty comprehensive victory over Italy, one man down, to take one step closer to the final eight. And here to chat to us about South Africa versus Italy and a couple of other interesting results coming out of the World Cup in Japan. Of course, our sports anchor and great guy and friend, Jeremy Harris. See how I'm smiling now that we're no longer talking about football. Right. Lots to talk about, especially after, I think, the loss to the All Blacks. We were riding so high after the Rugby Championship, understandably. Some great systems in place, a great style of rugby. But this was kind of one of those, and this is what a World Cup is all about, put everything else behind you and move on to that fixture because it's do or die. Yeah. And the Springboks looking good. We wanted a more comprehensive performance than we saw against Namibia, albeit, yes, a win, but we wanted to see a little bit more, and we got a little bit more. Granted, the Italians were woeful at times, very ill-disciplined, as we'll chat about in a moment, but in a general sense, what do you make of this performance? Is Rossi happy? Is he pleased? Does he feel like we're kind of on the right trajectory?
I think he would be happy. I mean, you come away with a bonus point win and you virtually assured yourself of a spot in the quarterfinals. He's got to be happy because it doesn't matter how you get there. It certainly wasn't through any fault of his that one of the Italians got a red card. But you know, the team were looking very much like they were in control of the game, and at that point, yes, the Italians had managed to get through the Springbok defence, but they hadn't breached the try line. But I mean, what good sort of game breakers the Boks have, and Rassie has at his disposal, literally in every jersey.
Just give that man the ball. Cheslin Kolbe playing some beautiful rugby at the moment. You just know that he is going to be worth the gain line every time he touches the ball, for sure. But he really is firing, and this is a player that for a long time was kind of touted as being too small for his position. Yes. A little bit of time abroad, and he has turned into an absolute beaut.
Yeah. No, I mean, I think that by far he's probably the smallest player, maybe he and Herschel Jantjies, the smallest players inside that box squad, and yet massive performances from them, hearts the size of mountains, and able to step virtually at 90 degrees. So, I mean, there's no stopping.
How guy's ankles, and Jamie obviously is having a bit of an issue with one of his ankles, and great to see him get back onto the field. But you kind of know that he is going to produce something special, and you need that, but we kind of need that from a few more players at this stage now. Where are the rest of the X-factor players that we've been needing? Our back row looking really good and strong, great competition for those positions, but is the rest of the Bok team there yet?
I mean, I think that they are. I think certainly in the forwards, the guys have spent so much time together. They probably know each other's breathing patterns. I think that, you know, they've lost Trevor Nyakani, which is obviously disappointing for him. They've lost Jesse Kriel, disappointing for that player as well. But they've been able to remain focused and to sort of ride the wave of those player losses and get through, because I mean, you build up a relationship with a particular player, but you know what you need to do is go, well, he's no longer there. I need to do what's best for the team. That's next, you know.
Yeah, man. And a couple of interesting things just quickly before we move on. The Andrea Lavotti. We thought maybe more than one player should have been sent off in that case, but one of the worst spear tackles that we've probably ever seen in a World Cup.
Yeah, I definitely thought 2 red cards, and it would have been an absolute killer of a decision from Wayne Barnes. But Andrea Lavotti was sent from the field, but Nicola Quaglio as well, the other prop, who I can tell you after the fact has also been cited. Both of those players now will serve out a 3-match suspension, so they won't play.
Does that apply now during
straight
the World
away?
Cup? Wow.
So they'll miss the last pool game for Italy, which is the last thing Conor O'Shea wants to hear. And he described it as a moment of stupidity, which exactly it was.
Yeah, just a rush of blood to the head. And I think, you know, when you take it in, it seemed innocent enough, but the net result could have been devastating there. So ultimately, 49-3, great result for South Africa over Italy. Cheslin Kolbe with 2 brilliant tries. Bonami just proving what we can do off the back of that line-out now. That's become a speciality move. We love that. Some other highlights. What leapt off the page for you? England beating Argentina, probably one of the bigger encounters in terms of rivalry.
And again, disappointing because of the fact that there was a dangerous tackle, which was really dangerous. And so the Argentinians lost a player for the bulk of the game due to a red card. So it was an easy canter in for the English when it could have been a much more tightly contested affair. But I really liked that Japan-Samoa game. For me, maybe even the game of the weekend. It was such a good win, and maybe I'm biased for the home team.
Why not? Because they've performed beautifully.
Yeah.
I think against Georgia, where people really stood up and were like, okay, this is a team that can do it. But against a Samoan outfit, you would probably put the Samoans as the favourites to win that.
Yeah. But a lot of people don't know, Graham, is that Japan ranked number 8 in the world, so there are no mugs, and yet nobody gives them credit. And so I'm so happy to see them go 3 wins from 3 outings, and I hope 1 win away from qualifying.
Labaskachny. Labaskachny, that's the name of their captain. We love it. This is South African connection everywhere. But we'll take the one in that Springbok outfit, of course, progressing thus far and looking like they're going to peak at just the right time. Jeremy Harris, I love you, dude. So great to have you back
here. Good to see you.
You can continue to show some love. #StrongerTogether. How are you feeling about the Boks performance so far in the World Cup?